Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I've been going back and forth for 2 years now, trying to decide whether to publish this video. And after all that time, I finally said to myself, what the heck? One day when we're old, we'll have a memory of the devastating disaster that struck our mine. Some of the footage you may have already seen in my compilations, but this full video will be a complete walkthrough of what happened on June 16th, 2023. So stick with us till the end, because it's going to be very interesting. Let's go back in time step by step, 4 days before the disaster, June 12th. It had been raining all morning, and a huge amount of water was pouring down from the surface into the bottom of the pit. Even though I knew there wasn't much I could do in that kind of rain, aside from trying to guide the water into the drainage channel, which was nearly impossible with how hard it was coming down, I still decided to head down. On the way to the bottom, you'll see for yourself just how much water we were dealing with. Can you imagine? All this water's rushing straight to the bottom of the pit, and I just couldn't resist stepping out to feel this amazing sight for myself. Woohoo! And yeah, it really was woo-hoo! You have to experience something like this to believe it. I felt like I was standing under Niagara Falls. All right, we're halfway to the bottom. Let's keep going. All right, we're getting close to the very bottom. And down there, a surprise was waiting for us. You'll see it in just a moment. And at the bottom, the PC-4000 was completely submerged up to the lower platform. The entire undercarriage was buried in mud. We immediately started the recovery process and had to evacuate all the equipment from the bottom of the pit because we knew the rain wasn't going to stop and we knew exactly what was coming. We didn't have much time. From June 12th to June 16th, the rain just wouldn't stop. And then on June 16th, 2023, the inevitable happened. A disaster of epic proportions. Collector number 1, which gathers water from the nearby river and rainfall, could no longer handle the massive inflow. The water started flowing back, upstream, heading straight toward the nearby village. From that moment on, we knew we had to make a tough decision. Either let all that water head toward the village and flood it completely, or redirect it all into the pit. The entire company leadership agreed instantly. No matter the cost, we'd send the water into the mine. And that's exactly what we did. We literally diverted the river into the pit. Every available machine was working to remove the protective berms. And once they were down, the water came rushing in, creating an unbelievable scene, like something out of a movie. For 24 hours straight, water was pouring into the pit. Over 1.9 million cubic meters rushed down, wiping out everything in its path. Minute by minute, the flow kept getting stronger and stronger. To cut off and redirect the water toward the pit, we mainly used bulldozers. Now we're going to show you what that looked like from the operator's perspective. How this young guy named Vlada was bravely fighting to save the village he actually lives in, and what the radio conversation between him and the shift leader sounded like. By the way, about 40% of the workers live in that same village, and all of their homes were under threat.
Dođi mi ovdje na čoše.
Ako možeš.
Važi.
Ali da se ne povuče sa sve buduće dole. Nemoj, povuče sve, beži nazad, Vlado. Beži nazad. Beži nazad, Vlado. Beži ovamo. Beži ovamo, Vlado. Izvrši sve ovamo.
Yeah, a chilling conversation. Sounds like a scene from a war movie.
Udar iz krivine, vidiš kako dolazi i probit će tu.
Ovo još nisam vidio da zatvorim sve pravo. Evo ovdje probija berma. Gledaj, ovdje berma, evo tu, još malo. Ovdje da probija ovdje, ide pravo na dole. Sva staće pa ta strana nema vode. Gotovo, evo se, evo, samo što nije. Ovako je tamo. Ovako se dajem u cijelu stranu. Što kurat je. Evo probija tamo. A kofa se drži, bre, neće li ih valiti. Ali, gdje se? Mogu je vlada, gledaj. Čuvano je cijela. Eto, gledaj, ovo je bilo probilo.
Evo i cevovod će da ode.
Ovako 2 sata stižu do ovdje.
Boga mi.
Momci, ja pijem Coca-Colu.
Here we can actually see the sheer volume of water rushing downhill. tearing through and breaking everything in its path. Like I said at the beginning of the video, all machinery, equipment, and personnel were evacuated on time, so there were no casualties, and not a single machine was damaged. The only things that were lost were some mining pipes, pumps, and the cables that power electrical equipment around the pit. Huge credit goes to the company management for acting fast and organizing the evacuation so effectively. That's where the natural riverbed flows. That's where the collectors are located. And in the footage, we can clearly see the water flowing back from that direction. The spot where the bulldozer cut off the safety berm. And once again, the direction of the river from the village toward the collectors, and the water flowing back from the collectors, heading straight into the mine. This is the main spot. The river runs right through here, and across it are two concrete bridges used by all vehicles, from giant haul trucks to smaller service vehicles. This area connects the pit with the rest of the mine, including the primary crushers, the vehicle maintenance workshop, the gas station. Basically everything. And now we can see that this entire section is cut off because the bridges were completely wiped out by the flood. The river has essentially split the mine in two, stretching over 1 kilometer in length. Nothing like this has ever happened before in the history of this mine. And this is the view from the other side. Now that the water had slightly receded, just a few hours later, the rescue operation began. The goal was to move people and equipment from the other side, the team that had been working to divert the river into the pit. Since the bridges were gone, fire and rescue units from the city stepped in to help, using boats to transport people across to the other side. But the river current and strong winds are making it hard to control the boat. The firefighters and rescue team are struggling to steer it in the right direction. this is the section leading toward the collectors in the dam. As you can see, it's a pretty serious mess here. And that gray wall in the distance, that's the dam holding back the tailings from flotation. And the collectors are located just below it. The river flows into those collectors and then continues on for flotation purposes. I don't even want to imagine what could have happened if that dam had failed. And this right here in front of us is the crusher station for the overburden transport system. That system moves overburden via conveyor all the way to the old mine, which is being backfilled with waste material from the new pit. But right now, we can see that more than half of the system is underwater. Beneath the surface here is the conveyor, which, like I said, runs all the way to the old mine located a few kilometers away. You can watch that video by clicking the link in the description. And that yellow thing in the distance, well, looks like no one told him he shouldn't park there, or buried. And here we are the next day, June 17th, the aftermath. We're back at the spot where the bridges used to be, and things are mostly calm now. The collectors are back in operation, and the situation is under control. As we can see, a large amount of water is still coming in, and the river level remains high. But like I said, the collectors are working just fine for now, and there's no immediate risk of further flooding. Now we're going to take a ride through the pit to see just how much damage the water actually caused. But before the walkthrough, we're going to show you a quick before and after. What things looked like before the disaster, and what they look like after. This is Mining Pump Station 3, before the disaster, and as you can see, a brand new pump had just arrived to start pumping water from the bottom of the pit. Take a good look at how the whole station looks now, and in just a moment, you'll see what it looked like during the flood. These guys had no idea that just a year later, this entire area would be wiped out like it was never even there. And this is the spot where Station 3 used to be. You can still see the new blue pump holding on. But just a few moments later, the entire landscape disappears. And a few months later, we found it. This is all that's left of the new pump and Pump Station 3. Just like I promised, we set out to tour the mine and see what's left. As you can see, the water wiped everything off the road. We're seeing exposed rock cutting through pyrite and limestone veins, and the roads have literally turned into trenches. The further we go down, the worse the damage gets. Here's where we truly see the power of nature. I couldn't believe water could be this strong. The roads have literally been carved into canyons, some as deep as 7 meters. Now you'll see where we are at the moment, and how this section of the road looked before the disaster. This entire section we passed through with the grader stretches from up there all the way down to where we are now, right before the curve. Here we can see a large amount of water that's collected, along with tons of barrels and leaks of oil, fuel, and who knows what else, from transformers, pumps, and all kinds of equipment. Later on, you'll see how all of this turned into a beautiful green lake, 35 meters deep. And these machines on the east side of the mine are completely cut off. The road leading to them is literally gone, washed away by the water. We'll take a closer look at that a bit later. Another pump station, washed away. Right where all that debris is now, there used to be a water collection pool. We made it this far, but from here on we couldn't go any further. The road was blocked by debris, and underneath us, it had completely collapsed. So the path leading to the eastern part of the mine, where the machines are stranded as well as the road to the bottom of the pit, it was simply impossible to reach. And here it is. This is exactly what I was talking about. Completely cut off. We were incredibly lucky that the water didn't make it into the eastern part of the mine, because that area is made up of loose and unstable material, mostly volcanic ash, and minor landslides were already a regular occurrence there. If the water had gone that way, I truly believe we would have faced a total disaster. All of these machines would have been buried. Instead, the western side took most of the damage, and since it's made of hard rock, only the roads and safety berms were affected. There were no landslides. Since we couldn't go any further down, we started slowly making our way back up to the 0 point, the spot where we began, where the bridges used to be. Here we can see that a bulldozer has been working, trying to fill in these canyon-like gaps, but it's going to take a lot of time to get the roads operational again, especially to reconnect the eastern and western parts of the pit through the southern section. That means the southern part of the mine needs to be restored as soon as possible. Here we are on the northern side of the mine, and from here we can see that work is underway to quickly build a bypass between the east and west sides. The eastern part of the pit has been out of operation for a while now, and at the moment, only the northern section is up and running. It's the only area with electricity. In all other parts of the pit, only diesel-powered machines are operating. And here we are, finally, on the southern road. After about 10 days, we managed to break through to the eastern part of the pit. And from here, we can see that the lower section of the pit is heavily damaged. The roads down here look like they've been carved into canyons. And this part of the road is completely cut off, forming a cliff roughly 50 meters high. And this is 1 month later. A large pontoon was transported to the lake so that high-capacity pumps could be installed. These pumps will run 24/7 to drain the lake as quickly as possible and restore operations at the bottom of the pit, where the richest ore is located. As of now, production has already been fully restored in all other parts of the mine, and operations are back to normal. Oh, do you remember that part of the video? Hoo-hoo! And those beautiful waterfalls? Well, that's right over there. It's going to take several months to fully rebuild the water pipeline network from the bottom of the pit to the pump stations that send water up to the surface. First, a new pump has to be installed. Then, the entire electrical system needs to be reconnected. All of that takes time. And once that's done, all the water has to be pumped out of the pit. But the hardest part is still ahead. Digging out all the mud that's settled at the bottom and reaching solid ground again. And here we are, almost 3 months later. The pumps are installed, the water and electrical networks are fully restored, and everything is back in place. But this view, it's beyond words. It's absolutely amazing, and something you truly have to experience. Too bad it won't last much longer. Before we head all the way down to see what it looks like up close, let's take a moment to enjoy this incredible view just a little bit more. Believe it or not, We're standing right where Pump Station 3 used to be, and that used to be way above the bottom of the pit. Now, it's almost level with the water. Just incredible. Oh, by the way, the full video of the new pump installation at Pump Station 3 is available at the link in the description, or by clicking the top right corner of the screen. Before we head all the way down to the shoreline, I want to show you some interesting before and after footage. We'll go through it quickly, then we're heading down. And here we are, finally, on the shore of this 35-meter deep lake. A lot had to happen for a lake this beautiful to form. About 400 meters long and nearly 200 meters wide. Thank God, there were no casualties and no one was injured. Now, over 1.5 million cubic meters of water needs to be pumped out from the bottom. All of it through a 10.5-ton pump that will move 1,190 cubic meters per hour, pushing it through a 5.7-kilometer-long pipeline. All in all, the company resumed operations just 3 days after the disaster, and within 10 days, production was back up and running across the entire pit, except at the very bottom. But the courage of Vlada, these workers, and the entire management team to save the village at all costs will be remembered as a heroic act for the rest of our lives. This is yet another reminder that nature is not to be played with, and that we are truly small in this universe. Well, guys, thank you for sticking with us through this epic journey that hit our mind. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. It would mean a lot to us. Until the next video, take care, and yeah, take a moment to enjoy this beautiful view just a little bit more.